Inspirit Nutrition, your brother, your friend, your dietitian back again for another installment. How to learn any language in any country. Let's get it popping. So it's very easy to pick up a language with Duolingo, with WhatsApp, with Skype, with iTalki, with all these different programs. But what you need most to learn any language in any country is a burning desire. To accomplish any goal, you need a burning desire. That is taught by Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich. Anytime I've achieved greatness, it was when I had a burning desire to achieve it. So what experience do I have with learning any language in any country? I'm not a polyglot. I'm bilingual. I still have a lot to learn in Spanish, but I learned a significant amount in a short period of time. My recommendation for learning any language in any country is to develop a burning desire for that language, for the ability to be able to speak that language. So what I did was I had to develop a burning desire to say, I want to learn how to speak Spanish. Aprenderé español. So, I will learn Spanish. When you have that burning desire, nothing's going to stop you. Nothing will get in your way. So there's some people who have a trip planned to go to Spain and teach English. But while they're there, they're going to drink Spanish wine, eat tortas, go out with their friends that speak English, and they're going to come back after a year barely speaking it. Or they're going to go and teach in Ecuador, teach English, and they're going to come back barely speaking it. Because they didn't take it seriously, they didn't have a burning desire. You have to you have to be hungry for it. You have to wake up thinking about it. You have to go to sleep dreaming about it. This is how you achieve this is how you achieve and accomplish any goal. So, prior to actually learning Spanish, I traveled in India for like a month. But during that time, I studied in a Landor language school. This was in the Himalayas. Beautiful, most amazing experience ever. It's just wonderful. But I studied for like almost 2 weeks, studied Hindi. And I didn't even study it as intensely as I should have or could have, but I did have a desire to learn it. So after studying it in the school for probably like 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours out of the day, I would come home and or go to the inn that I was staying at, and I would study at the inn as well. But one thing that I recommend when you go to any country and you're learning, you have to study before you get to the country. Study the language as much as possible if you can. Dedicate hours. You need to put in your 10,000 hours to study it. Become obsessive about it. Listen to it constantly. Study it on your downtime. Wake up early to study it. Stay up late to study it. And then another thing is practice amongst native people. So if you're around people that speak your language, get away from them when you're in the country. Stay away from them. Mingle amongst and talk amongst people that only speak the Hindi, only speak Urdu, only speak Farsi, only speak Swahili, only speak whatever, and you're going to pick it up, because the human brain and mind is amazing. People think that it's only children that can pick up any language, and then once you get older you can't learn it. That's not true. I remember when I was in Hindi, when I was in the Himalayas, there was a family in the countryside, on the hillside of like portion of the Himalayas when I was in Mussoorie. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they invited me in for tea, and I was with my girlfriend at the time. We sat down and we met and we talked. We just broke bread, and they gave us tea and crackers and cookies and stuff. But they didn't even speak English. We had the children, they spoke a couple words of English, but we spoke like 2 or 3 words of Hindi. but we were communicating and talking, and I was paying attention to the sounds and the words that the mother was using for the same thing over and over when she would tell the kids to sit down, or if she told the kids, she pointed at the wall, or she said something specific. I learned like 3 words while I was just sitting in their quarters in their home, because I was immersed in the experience, and it was like amazing because I was like, wait a minute, I learned that word, but I learned the word because I had learned the alphabet and I learned pronunciation. And so the way I learned the word, it was like I knew the basics and the fundamentals of the language. So when she was saying the word, I could identify the pronunciation and I could repeat it back, and then I could say that means this. And it was only within about 45 minutes, 30 minutes of us being in their quarters. So that's the kind of learning that takes place when you're immersed in the environment. So you don't want to be hanging out the bar. I mean, you have fun when you travel, but you want to be in the live host experience in the country, living straight out, and you'll pick up things. Another thing, I used to have long locks. You guys can see in my old videos, they were shorter, but eventually they got long to my shoulders. And I was in India, and people would always ask me about my hair. They were fascinated with it because they don't see Moorish travelers a lot, or black travelers a lot, but especially ones with long locks. They didn't see that. So it was this little boy. He was 10 years old, but he was really short. He was like, he looked like he was like 6 or 7, his height in terms of height, but his maturity and his energy level, the energy he put off, he was older. You could tell, and more mature, and he always walked with the older kids. But we used to walk up this mountain. We had to walk, not a mountain, it was like a hill, but it was really steep, and it was a good cardiovascular exercise, but we used to have to walk it every day, and we would come across these children on the way to the school, and he would always talk to me and ask me questions in Hindi, but I didn't know what the hell he was saying because I didn't speak Hindi. But after maybe a week, from learning phrases, from studying, I deciphered what he said, and it clicked, and I said, whoa. He was asking me, what is that on my head, and then I said, oh snap, and I explained to him it was my hair, and it was just in a couple words. I didn't eloquently say it in Hindi, but I explained to him that it was my hair, and I asked him how he was doing, and then he told me he's just fine, not too good, not too bad, just fine. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell, I'm 21 years old, I've been in India for a week and a half, and I just communicated with this kid who's been trying to communicate with me for the last week and a half, and I haven't been able to communicate with him. But you do that by not being afraid to speak the language. That's another thing. Most people that don't learn languages are because they have inhibitions. When I went to Latin America and I wanted to learn Spanish, my main issue, the main trouble, and the main thing that stopped me from learning was self-confidence and my own inhibitions, because people will laugh at you, look at you funny if you don't speak correctly. Now this isn't just all across the board, but it happens. Sometimes people don't laugh at you, sometimes people encourage you, sometimes people think it's cute that you're trying and they help you out. Other times some people are looking at you like, just spit it out. But regardless, you have to maintain confidence, and you have to have no inhibitions when you speak. Just speak. That's another thing. Speak as much as possible, even if you just know a couple words. Like I remember in Hindi, I had learned how to say, how much does this cost, or where is this, or where is that, and I was just going to practice it. I would walk up to people that only spoke Hindi and just say it, because I was loving, the experience and enjoying myself. I wasn't afraid, or I didn't have inhibitions about that, and that helped me learn. And they actually understood and responded. So it's the same way in Spanish. I held the situation, or I should say, I held a mission and the rule for myself that I need to have at least 2 random conversations with people that I don't know in Spanish every day when I'm in Latin America, when I was in Guatemala. And so Guatemala. No, and so I would just go out on my off days or after class. I would go out and just start conversations with women, with men, just with everybody. And it was really cool because I got this dibujo. No, I got this what is it called? Retrato. I got this drawing of myself done. I was in a cafe and I would go there to study, but I tasked myself with starting conversations. That's another thing. When you're in the country, start conversation with people. Don't be afraid. They don't know who you are. They don't know your background. They don't know your name. They don't know anything about you. So just dive in and talk to them. And you can make a friend. So I met this guy. I was in a cafe and he was drawing and he had some really good skills. And I could barely even speak to him. And he didn't speak English. And so I just walked up to him and just said, what is that? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué estás haciendo? What is that? What are you doing? And he just started, telling me. And I didn't fully understand him, but I kind of we worked together and I learned to speak. And, he learned to kind of express things towards me or whatever and explain things. And eventually I learned that he does portraits. And he did the art actually in the cafe. There was a wall in the cafe. It was called El Cortito. It's in Shela, in Guatemala. It's super dope. I've been there like 1,000 times. But anyway, he had done the mural and the paintings on the walls, the drawings on the walls, and I really liked them. And I asked him, hey, could you do a picture of me? So that was birthed out of me just sparking conversation with him. Another thing is, work in the community and serve in the community where they only speak that language. Fully immerse yourself. So it's nice to go to classes. It's nice to take classes in that language. Actually, it'd be cool if you take classes in that language too, like classes that aren't like the language. Like if you take history or social sciences in the language that you're trying to learn while you're in the country, that'll help a lot too. Watching TV is cool. Those are all good, but live engagement is like the best way. So I worked at a community clinic, and every day I had to catch the bus. I had to ask people, could I sit next to them on the bus? I had to ask them, could they scoot over a little bit? I had to live and engage in the society, and you pick up on certain colloquialisms, certain phrases, and you have to use them, and you have to be boisterous. You have to go out your way to kind of practice the language. So these are the ways to really learn any language in any country. It doesn't matter because we're human beings. The way I see it is I can learn any language conversationally 3 to 6 months. If I had the opportunity to study the language a little bit before I went, study it while I'm there, and to live amongst the people and practice, I can learn any language in 3 to 6 months because it's just a matter of connecting with human beings. And remember, communication is 80 to 90% body language. So a lot of the ways I communicate with my hands. If you watch my videos, I'm always moving my hands, and I'm very expressive with my body. So when I speak to people, I'm communicating with them. They understand through my smile, through the different things that I say, and they're picking up on what I'm saying through body language and not only through language. So that's another thing. I mean, and then the more you spend time with the actual people in the country and the culture, you pick up on the accents. And so remember I was on a bus coming from like a trip to a lake in Guatemala, but I was talking to this sister next to me, and that was another thing too. Every time I traveled, I started a conversation, and my friends didn't understand it. They were like, man, Mark is always talking, and it is because I like to talk to people. In general, I do that in English to people in the community when I go out, but I had a mission, and I had a determination, that burning desire to where every time I was on the bus, I had a conversation with the person next to me. But I mean, I would get kisses on the cheek, and that's how they greet people out there, But at the end of the conversation, and they were saying, buen viaje, or, safe travels, or, they would just be talking to me, and I would learn words while I was talking to them, because you could just say, ¿Cómo se dice? Or ¿Qué significa? Esa palabra? What does that word mean? Or, you can just figure out different words from the context of the conversation. But I remember I was talking to a sister, and I was asking her about lipstick and how I said her lipstick was nice, but I didn't know how to say lipstick. I still don't even remember how to say it. But she was like, "Oh, so you're not from here?" And this is me, Amor from Los Angeles, chilling on a chicken bus in Guatemala, and we're talking, in Spanish, and this is my first month, like, in a Latin American country, period. First month really fully speaking Spanish as much as, conversationally. And she talking about, because I didn't know, I revealed myself because I didn't know how to say lipstick. That was the only determining factor that she realized that I wasn't from a Latin American country. She thought I was from a Latin American country just because, the way I was just chilling and talking to her. And so you get those kind of experiences, and it's really amazing, you know what I mean? And you come out with a lot, learning a lot. So I know people who go and travel for 6 months, a year. I was only out for like a month, less than that. It was in February, shortest month of the year. So, and I learned immensely because of these techniques. Burning desire. In the morning, I would get up, study. At night, I would study. I would spark conversations. If I was curious about anything, like instead of just thinking in my head, I wonder what that guy's drinking. Like it would be at like a cafe or a bar or something, and they got some good music playing, and somebody's drinking something, and I want to know what it was. I wouldn't just keep it in my head. Oh man, I wonder what they're drinking. I'd walk up to them and just ask. Even if I didn't understand what they said, it was like I would pick maybe 2 or 3 words out of what they said, and I'm like, oh, okay, está bien, or interesante. That was one thing I always used to say, interesante, like, because I didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't understand them fully, so I would just say interesante, bien, muy interesante, like, very interesting. But it was like they were just like, he's always saying muy interesante, like, but it was because I didn't know what the hell they were saying. But it was like I had to dive in. That was the only way for me to get it. And it's the same way with Hindi, or same way with Japanese or anything else. Manifest that burning desire. Study, immerse yourself amongst the working people. Live engagement. Go to the stores where you have to actually order things in the market. Don't go to the westernized. I mean, you can go to the westernized places too, like, the Starbucks and the nice upscale cafe that they have in the place that you're going, where more people may speak English. It's nice to experience those things too, because you meet wonderful people. But it's nice to go to the, mercados and, just go in and just really deal with the people. And have like daily conversations, spontaneous conversations, because those are more difficult. Like when you just speak with a teacher or somebody who's like a friend, it's scripted almost. But when you meet somebody who doesn't know where you're from, doesn't know your intentions or objectives, they're just totally open. They'll ask you, everything and anything. If they're curious, it's just, and you have to respond. So anything can happen. So that's the best way to do it. You can learn any language. I mean, just keep it sharp. Repeat a lot, and don't overthink or try and apply your language rules to their rules. Just repeat it. So like, I try and speak like some Portuguese, but I'm thinking in Spanish terms, or I'm thinking in English terms, and it doesn't apply. What do children do? Children, they don't confuse themselves. That's how they learn too. They just repeat. So you have to learn how to just repeat things too. Learning a language is about repetition and just saying things. So somebody tells you this is how you say it, this is the accent, before trying to get all scientific with it and apply it to your rules, just repeat exactly what they say, how they say it, and you'll get the sound down. Once you get your tongue rolling and getting the sound down, then you can understand the nuances and, the deep aspects of it and the philosophical side of it. But until then, you repeat what they say. So, that's it. Like, what's bom dia in Portuguese. You just have to repeat it. I don't know why they pronounce things like that. I don't know how it's different from English or Spanish. But you got to just say boa noite. Like, you just got to repeat what they say, and you'll learn that way. Your brother, your friend, your dietitian. I wish I still knew some Hindi. All I know is aapke sahun, dhanyavad, tika. I lost a lot of it, man. But I used to be able to say, how much does this cost? Where is this mango? Like I used to be able to say a lot of stuff, man, but I lost it. So, go out there and learn some language, man. Travel, use the technology to better yourself and connect with the universal family. Your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Inspirit Nutrition. Peace.